Nah, welcome to the Pure Game Podcast.
Hey.
It's your boy Treynomics. And you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's your boy.
What's going on, y'all? Done deal on the track. Yep, I'm here.
What's up? My boy, my brother.
Yeah.
What's up? What's happening? RP in the building.
Yeah.
We in the game. And we joined with these lovely ladies. And I want them to introduce themselves. So I'm going to start with over here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Michaelia.
And where you from, Michaela?
Where can they find you?
I am from Orlando, Florida, but I'm currently here in Atlanta.
What do you do?
What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually a traveling registered nurse.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I do a little something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then you can find me on Instagram at _Michaelia. That's _MIKAILIA_.
All right.
Okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Reevy. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I've been living in Atlanta for about 4 years now. I'm actually currently getting my master's at Georgia State University. Go GSU, yeah.
Oh, yeah, go.
And you can find my Instagram at ReevesMyGirl, and girl is spelled with a U.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Hey y'all, my name is Yaya. I'm from Chicago. I've been out in Atlanta for 4 months.
Shot time.
Yeah.
Fresh off the boat.
You know that. You can find me on Instagram at badgirlyaya __, and that's gal with GYAL.
What you do?
Yeah, bad gal. I'm act and I model, and I'm currently opening up my own body sculpting thing. Yeah.
Body sculpting.
So if y'all need y'all body done, hit me up.
Ooh, body sculpting.
I'm Ann Louise. I'm 23. You can find me on Instagram at Ann Louise Watley, and I'm a circus performer. So I do contortion and fire eating. Those are my specialties.
Oh, that's fire! Literally,
Fire. That's
Straight
dope.
up. Straight up.
We like that.
Yo, we back, man. We back.
We back.
Hey.
Chat room, what's happening with
What's
you?
happening, chat?
What's going on, guys? Remember us?
Good to see you in the building as well.
Yeah, I need y'all to get in and tap in today. Really, man, I'm just glad to see y'all today.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad to see you, ladies. I'm glad for y'all.
Beautiful ladies.
You know,
Thank you.
Now, this climate that we in today, it's been real strange. I'm not gonna say, it's like divisive yet unified. Like it's just been a lot going on in the recent weeks of time, So, it's just been real heavy on my head to really just think about what's going on in the state of this country, in the state of this relationships with us, with men and women, because things have been very competitive. The Olympics that just happened, so it's a lot of talk and just equality and competition, and so it just makes you realize. It makes you want to ask the question, like, are we really equal as men and women, or do we have our differences? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? If we are equal, then is that good? Or if we not, is that bad? So I really want to know what my people really think when it comes to this question. Like, Dunn, what's your opinion about this?
It just sucks that we have to even have this conversation, to be honest with you. There's obviously a difference between women and men,
right?
And for the state of the world, for everybody to kind of question what's the difference, puts us in the danger zone. Like, we don't want to see men and women boxing each other. We don't want to. There are things that we don't want to see.
Absolutely.
There are ways that women are equal to men, which is like, your mindset, your brain, your
respect,
your power,
consideration
of who you are, and all of that. That's where we can be equal. But there's things that men have to do that women can't do.
You agree? What the ladies got to say about that?
I agree. I'm going to take it back biblically.
Yeah. We
come from your rib. God created you all. I don't know your religion, sorry. But you all are physically stronger than us.
Right.
For a reason. You all are created to provide and protect, and we are smaller in frame, no matter if we're taller or whatever. because we're supposed to nurture, and we have different roles. I don't want to be equal to a man. There are certain things that I may have to do because I am single, but I prefer not to. But if I'm with a man, I want a man to play his role, and I'm gonna play mine. I don't want to be equal to a man.
You finna use that. Yo, hey baby, I can't lift this up.
Why should I? If I'm in the presence of a man, you shouldn't want me to. I'm dainty. I'm
Clock that
serious?
T.
Yes, no.
I like it.
So
I
all
love
that equal stuff, yeah. If we're at the job and we're doing the same intellectual role or doing the same physicality, but on another aspect, no, we were not bred or created to be equal. There's a reason my frame and structure is much smaller than his.
I have a question. So how do y'all feel about 50-50?
Hold up. First of all, let's get this young lady a hand clap. First of all, you know what I mean? We just can't let that slide like that. You know what I mean? That was dope. I appreciate that.
Hey, we're gonna plug them sound effects in. I tell you. But how do we feel about 50-50? Well, financially, lovely. Financially lovely. I'm gonna tell you why financially lovely is because, like what she said, I don't believe that men and women are equal. Like we have things that we're equal in the sense of you have some things that I'm not dominant, that I'm weak in, and I have some things that I'm dominant in, but you're weak in. And I think it works that way, you know. So if we're dominant in all facets, what are we gonna be truly great at, you know? So I might be really strong, but you're really smart. So you're the brains and I'm pinky. You get what I'm saying? Like, so it should be okay for that. So when we say financially, yeah, we should do 50-50 because there's things that Bron does, like, you know, construction jobs and all of those type of things that takes a lot of Bron work, but it makes a lot of good money. But then there's a lot of things that takes intellectual, like, you know, like legal, HR, you know, a lot of those things that takes a lot of brain power.
Administration. Yeah.
And that makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
So naturally, the woman's gonna do the things that takes more brain power because I believe they're smarter. I mean, hey.
Incredibly. For me, you can't downplay that.
I can't downplay it. Like every time I have an intellectual conversation, I'll be like, and they'll hit me with something, I'll be like, I didn't even think of it from that way. So
It's all about
I gotta give it to you.
compromise.
But the strength and the brawn and the mental, like when I mean strength is also mental strength as well. That goes to my guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's okay for that. You know, that's what a couple is for.
Yeah.
That's why we get together as a couple. So because what I'm weak at, you're strong in. And so we get together and now we're a complete circle.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go
Well,
ahead.
I was gonna say, I think that, I don't know, you're selling yourself a bit short though. So there's a lot of things that I think men definitely have the capability to do that's on the same equal as women. I know some of the things you were mentioning were like mental power, like, or brain power.
Right.
I think that men have a lot of that too. I do, to some degree, think that women are sometimes better at some tasks mentally, maybe, but brain power wise, like, don't sell yourself short on that. Like, men have got a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
We are thinkers. We are thinkers.
Well, when I mean, I'm not saying that we're idiots. Yeah, we got some damn brain power. We just more big picture thinking than you are. You know, so we this
okay.
type of thing. I mean, because y'all more meticulous on the details. We're more of the big picture.
Again, I think that women are emotional thinkers and men are logical. We think of, like, I remember dating a lot of women and they're like, why don't you care about this like I do?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the way to accomplish the goal instead of why the goal
solved.
can't be accomplished.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from that emotional thinking of women. And emotional thinking is good because that's what men don't have. That's why we're not as organized or as polished as women, because we're not thinking from that emotional standpoint of like, you know, oh, I need to do this, and we're like, this is how I'm gonna get it done.
But was it just because you were raised that way though?
I wouldn't say that. I just say it's just in us when it comes to that. It's just, we can't help that. Like, y'all do help us with our emotional intelligence. Y'all can really read the room better than we can, because like what my boy Dunn said is that we're more into accomplishing the goal. So we, like I said, we think so big picture that sometimes the little things like how this is going to make a person feel is like, what are you talking about? We're trying to get over here. Why should I make you feel better?
We're problem solvers.
So because we're trying to solve the problem. Because in our mind is when the mission's accomplished, everybody's happy. You know what I'm saying? But your mind is we need to accomplish the mission in the most emotional, safe way.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I do.
All
I
right.
feel like you need that balance, because really without us, y'all need women. Y'all need women in your
No,
life.
we need each other.
If
We
you
need
feel
each
like
other.
Right.
I'm focused on the goal, but at the same time, whether you hear your women telling you this or that, it gives you. It's always two sides to a story. You always have to see things from different point of view. So whether you think, okay, at the time she's nagging, but at the same time, it's like she gave you another way of thinking to accomplish a goal.
But that's what we're saying.
No,
We're not disagreeing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're saying.
agreeing.
That's what we need. That's the difference between us. That's why men are more, when we're logical, we're not thinking about those emotional parts that we need. We're just trying to get to the end goal.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
like, you're like, I want to get these cabinets put up. And a man's like, okay, so I have to go do this, that, and the third. I'm gonna go get the lumber. I'm gonna go get the nails and the hammer. And I'm not gonna think about what you said earlier this week of, hey, me and my friends are going out at 6 o'clock at night and blah, blah, blah. So I'm not using my other side of thinking. I'm thinking like, there's a goal you wanted me to accomplish.
So, at what age did you realize that? Because I feel like if you look at a lot of marriages that have dissolved, that is the problem. Men and women do not know how to communicate with one another because we're more emotional. You all are more logical, and now we're clashing. So how do we meet in the middle?
Because I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just what a woman expects, and we talked about expectations before.
Yeah.
And what a man expects. So like, since you are, emotional, and you might be a courteous person, so you might be a courteous person, but this person that you're with is more of a mission-oriented person. There's just two different personalities. So you're going to expect that person to think the way that you think, and you're like, and your logical brain is, how can you not be as considerate as I will be? And they just don't know. They don't even know they're being inconsiderate. You get what I'm saying? So that's why when we say we do need each other, because then you can just think like, maybe he doesn't know. So we're kind of like that. Because we're so mission oriented, we think
That's the conversation we had.
We don't look into we don't think about the details that way. That's why we need you. You come and step in and be like, hey, you're being a little bit domineering. You losing your people losing motivation. You be like, okay, I ain't even think, my bad. That's why we do need each other.
Right.
But the same thing about with you women, y'all do get caught up in your emotions that y'all get so lost of the mission that we gotta grab you and pull you up and be like, don't sweat the bullshit, baby. Come on, let's go.
Focus.
Yes, but at the same time, I feel like as a man, you have to be sensible to their sensibility, knowing that we are emotional creatures.
It's not about what we should do, it's about what we are. You get what I'm saying?
I think it's dangerous to make generalizations about men are this way, women are this way. Personally, I've dated people who were much more emotional than I was, who got much more bogged down in the details, who were less big picture.
Right.
And stereotypes do come from somewhere. There are these stereotypes about women being more emotional, but I do think it's dangerous to enter into a relationship with someone with these expectations that just because they are a woman or they are a man, they are going to be more detail oriented or they're going to be more logical. I think that kind of primes you to act in a certain way that that could have a negative effect on the relationship, because you have these expectations and you have this priming and you're not actually getting to know them. Because if you wait and you figure it out,
You put them in a box.
then you can enter into a relationship and think, okay, this man is very in touch with his emotions. How can I approach that in a beneficial way for both of us, knowing that information, instead of going in and thinking, this man is going to be logical, I'm going to be emotional, let me act in this relationship based on that expectation. Do you know what I mean?
Very well said.
I agree with that. So
Agreed.
there's another part to it though, and it's science. It's science based more than just like
Biological.
our actual feelings. Some of it is, some people are less emotional and more logical, and that's because you use more brain power than other people. That's why women are more emotional, because they use more brain power than us in a certain way, and men are more logical because we use our brain power in a different way. You know, it's tough that we think about it in such black and white ways, but it's not that. You know, it's really not. We really live in a time where, when you have to be so careful about how you put things,
Walking on eggshells.
right? You have to walk on eggshells about what we're actually going through as men and women. It's because women have estrogen and men have testosterone. That's it.
I do want to add that the master's I'm getting my degree in is neuroscience, and we talk all the time about gender differences, sex differences,
Right.
all of that. And some of the things that you said, there is some truth behind it,
Right.
but a lot of it is actually just factually incorrect. So, sorry.
Such as.
So
for
when
example.
no,
Elaborate.
obviously, and this is not a podcast about getting on nitty gritty details about science. Obviously,
No, it's just,
we want to know.
yeah, it's just us talking.
well, I just wanted to say the comment that you made about how women produce more estrogen, men testosterone. Men also produce the exact same hormones, right?
We get estrogen too.
Yeah, we get
Right.
it too.
Yeah. And there are sometimes, in some instances, where women produce, more testosterone, and there's differences in each individual, but estrogen actually comes from testosterone, so they're related. And that's a whole nother hormone conversation, but we're not genetically as different as you would think that we are.
I know that we're not genetic.
Yeah, and I guess the other comment about using, women will think in this sort of way because they have, I can't remember exactly, you said something about how men use the more brain power to think and
Problem
and
solving.
we're intentional with our actions. That's how I feel. Like most men are doers, and most women are thinkers. Most women will think about the situation, and it'll take them 20 steps to get there. And men will think, and men will say, "This is what I want to do," and they'll go do it, and don't think about the consequences of how they did it.
Well,
and
I
women
feel
will
like-
think about
Are you speaking for all men?
most men that I know, yeah. So most men that I know, we all think about we think about how we want to get something done. We're like, okay, boom, these are the steps. I'm gonna do it like this.
Let me pause this. I'm sorry to cut you off, my boy.
Go ahead.
Let me pause this for the sake of conversation. When we mean generalization, we mean most, maybe 60%. That's most. That's more than half. So when we mean that you're more likely than least likely going to encounter this, there's always nuance to everything. I'm only saying that so we don't keep going back. Be like, if
That's the
most
part.
men are all men,
That's
most
the
men
part.
and all men. We get so I just want to say that because I'm just look, I understand nobody wants to offend anybody or anything like that. That is not what we're here for. We are here to have a decent conversation about what's going on.
That's the missing link.
So, hey, if you feel like most men do this, if that's your experience, then put on it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But when we say men or we say women, there is a nuance to it. Yeah, I lift weights, but I know some women out there that lift way heavier than me. That's nuance. You know, hey, I may be a genius, and a girl might be dumb. That's a nuance. You know what I'm saying? But when we say generalization,
or vice versa.
what are you most likely to run into? The overall picture. You, as a woman, you're more likely to get a man to hit on you while you leaving the grocery store than a
Or the
guy
gas
is,
station,
or
exactly.
the gas station
Yeah.
than the guy is. That doesn't mean all men is going to get at you at the gas station.
Right.
But
Just certain men.
it's just-
You're gonna catch that
Because we hunters by nature.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to approach.
Right,
You know what I mean?
just like why dogs chew on squeaky toys.
Yeah.
It's in their
You know,
nature. When they hear screams, it reminds them of the screams of the.
But you,
yeah, but if we don't have at least a blueprint, how we gonna be able to navigate through life?
Yeah,
that's the
You
thing.
know,
Go ahead.
Like, I got a GPS, right? The road to get to your destination, right? I'm sorry, I'm going off and I'm going.
No, go
in
ahead,
my
man.
rants.
Do your thing.
go ahead.
I
go
get
for it.
when I got something in my head.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
gotta get it out. All right. But anyways, right. So there, when you put that GPS on, there's many ways to get to that.
Same
their
destination. Yeah,
But the route on your GPS is what most likely
The one that's the quickest.
Right, the
fastest
quickest,
route.
fastest way there.
You're gonna at
It's
least
most-
get 3.
You're most likely about you getting 6 out of 10. That's finna do 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. That's going to do this. You're going to want this. Just like as a woman, I'm more likely going to meet a woman that wants a man to make more money than her. That's more likely than the woman that's like, there's some women out there that exist. I'm still finding her. That's just like, hey, I'm looking for somebody I could just spend my money on. But you know,
But let's
it's least likely.
but let's
Yeah.
let's deal with that
They out
nuance
here.
thing though.
Yeah, but if we get into the science of nuance and individualism, we're not going to get nowhere. We're not going to advance.
right. Because we're going by the percentage of the many.
Mm-hmm.
We're just saying that most men have this mind frame of we're logical. We want to move. It wasn't the way we were raised. It's in our genetic code.
And we was raised that way too.
Some of us was raised that way, and then some
how
of us,
many action figures you had when you was a kid? I had the Ninja Turtles.
yeah,
Action figures.
G.I.
Sometimes
Joe.
we was raised
Can't forget
to
about
be,
G.I. Joe.
Like we was raised to be men. We
Yeah.
was raised to protect.
Tonka trucks.
All I want to say is I had a G.I. Joe growing up as well, so
Yeah.
because Ken looked too
But it
girly
was
for me.
mar- but it
that
was-
was the thing. Ken
But
looked
it
way
was
too girly.
marketed. But think about it. It was marketed to us, so we were more likely to get it.
No, that's very
So
true.
You
Yeah.
you might have got it because you begged and wanted it, and, but you're the nuance in the conversation. That what?
I think going off what you just said, G.I. Joe, all the masculine stuff
Yeah.
like that was marketed to you. I feel like today everybody wants to please everyone. So now if you notice, this generation, a lot of our men
Programming.
aren't as masculine. They aren't. Because I feel like everyone has to tiptoe around, oh, G.I. Joe can be for everybody. When overall Barbie was for the women and G.I. Joe was for you all. So yes.
So
It is supposed to be that way.
I have a question then.
Uh-huh.
So in your opinion, so now you're saying that
Uh-oh.
from your experience,
Uh-oh. What did I open
your
up?
life, your experience. Do you feel that men today are more feminine than masculine?
Yes, I do.
So from your experience now, how we talking about generalization, the overwhelming majority of what you
Okay.
encountered, they've been more feminine than masculine.
I think now that's the reason why you see so many arguments and debates online is because of this. I
Uh-huh.
feel like before men knew their roles, they were comfortable in their masculinity. And I feel like now you have to be afraid to really be that person because you have to tiptoe around the conforms of our society now. So before it was okay for a man to be masculine and be manly. Now it's like, oh, men can do everything a woman can do. And vice versa. And we can be more metrosexual, which is nothing wrong with that. But now I feel like men feel like they have to tone down being a true masculine male because of how society is pushing everything now. And everybody can be who they want to be. But if you notice, they have whole agendas and everything of men stating that they can be more feminine now and So now I feel like it's tiptoed around.
To me, that feels just more like opening up options. I feel like saying, oh, men don't just have to be hyper masculine. We're more open to the idea of young boys playing with dolls, which a lot of studies show that that's great for emotional development for young boys. But I don't know. I don't see it as an issue personally that we're broadening the scope of what's acceptable for men, how men can express themselves. I personally haven't seen like a huge crusade against masculine men. I've just seen more acceptance towards men being less traditionally masculine.
That it's less acceptable. I think if that's just who someone naturally is as a child, I feel like it's being forced upon at this time. If you are 3 years old and this is something that you're being taught as a child, and this is just not who you naturally are, this is what you're going to grow up being. They're not allowing people to just be them truly selves and find themselves and grow up and conform to who they truly are.
To me, it feels like you're adding on to my point. It feels like shoving the G.I. Joes, only the G.I. Joes, on boys as a young kid. That feels like forcing someone to grow up a specific way. If you broaden the scope and say like, hey, do you want a G.I. Joe or do you want a Barbie?
Sure,
that feels like more, that feels like less forceful to me, honestly. It opens up the choices to young boys instead of saying this is your path, you know?
I want to add, because I feel like everybody has a different view of what masculinity is. Like, what is your definition of masculinity?
Before we get right there,
Yeah.
I think there's a whole nother thing, right? Is the point is we're growing up in a time where men are not as manly as they used to be, and women are looking for a real man. They'll say that they're looking for a real man.
Yeah.
I need a man that's a man.
Yeah.
And
they can say no.
Right. And the issue is that we're kowtowing to society. We're going to give our son an option of, do you want to put on a dress or do you want to put on there is no choice for real.
Right.
It's like blue and pink. When you have a baby shower, they show you, hey, blue means it's a boy, pink means it's a girl.
Gender specific.
Right. And the reason why is because in order for society to keep on moving forward, which is to be fruitful and multiply, for all of us to keep being humans, it has to be one thing that happens between men and women, which is we have to have babies.
Procreate.
Right. If we're not procreating and a man gets to choose, well, boom, this is what I'm going to do. And it doesn't mean that this man isn't a man anymore. He can still go have babies and all that. But realistically, we're dealing with a new society where most men are in the houses and don't have sex. Like, you can look at right now, it's ridiculous the amount of people that aren't procreating and having babies. Right. And they're flying men out to Japan and plenty of places to go have sex with women, because men are at this point where it's like they don't know how to be men anymore.
Right. We don't see that.
Right.
I really feel like people are brainwashed, because it really don't matter what's going on. It's about self-control. It's about how you control yourself. Like, nowadays we have grandmas and big mamas who's are now our age, but back then that grandmas and still living, they haven't changed. It don't matter. There might be some still living in this society, but they haven't changed. They still stand on morals.
Yeah. They have principle.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, instruction.
So I feel like people say, "Oh, this society, this generation messed up, and that's the way people are." You don't have enough. You feel me? Like, it's just y'all are brainwashed.
Because it goes back to the nuance. You think about it. Do you want to win the battle or you want to win the war? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And so if we're not learning, communication is a skill set. Mm-hmm. Nobody come out the womb knowing how to communicate with each other. I don't know how many of y'all growing up seen a real actual healthy relationship. Well, two consenting adults are conversating about things that piss them off. You see what I'm saying? Without over talking each other and trying to prove a point to outshine each other. these are the skills that is missing from us. You see what I'm saying? Because I can be angry, you can be angry, but if you don't have conflict resolution skills, whereas my intention is not to make you feel some kind of way, to be bitter or resentful against me, it just my way at this particular time expressing to you to the point whereas as a man, I'm not saying what I'm saying whereby it's spent on me and it becomes about how you feel about what I'm saying, as opposed to having listening skills to hear exactly what I'm saying, and vice versa. So we have to get this communication piece down before we can move further, because some people are just bringing shit from their childhood into their relationships or to their dating world, whereas we see it's not working. We're doing a lot of talking, but we're not seeing results to a degree or another.
So for you, how would you feel like, how do you because there's no rule book on communication.
Absolutely.
There's no rule book on how to be a perfect human.
Yep.
We all have emotions. So how would you have that person? Like, how do you work on communication?
Well, the thing is, what is your motivation? Do you actually want to hear what I have to say? Do I actually want to hear what you have to say? You see what I'm saying? Because think about it. The more familiar you become with somebody, if you see weakness about that person, a little bit of respect is being robbed of that person. You see what I'm saying? And so now you have this urge to want to take a shot at that person because they're not living up to the perception of what you think they should be like. And so we'll become more critical. We'll become more judgmental. We'll start finding fault. Start just trumping up bullshit to say each other, to trigger each other. And once that begins to happen, communication is out the window.
So just to double back on that, how long does it take for you to see a person for who they truly are, the good and the bad, for you to just be like, okay, I'm all in?
I think we see red flags in the beginning. It just depending on, does the benefit outweighs the bullshit? You know, and so, but my personal thing is where it goes back to what we talk about, fellas. Genuine attraction, flaws and all. Because we like you said, we're human. But if we're not genuinely getting to know each other as opposed to being a man, I'm visual. I'm physically attracted to you. But what comes before the horse? The sex of the conversations. Back in the day, you know what I mean? There was still a thing in this country called arranged marriages. You know what I mean? Your mama, you know what I mean? Your little boyfriend who you was attracted to had to come meet your daddy. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. That little girl had to come meet your mama. But we don't have that because we feel like I can make the best decision for my life. When in fact, you need advisors.
It takes a village.
Let's come on, dog.
Let's keep it real. We're at this point in society where nobody wants to get along with nobody. Everybody has their own opinion about what they think is right or wrong for society. And honestly, we've made it. Who knows how long human society has really been around?
That's real.
We've made it this far in this long by doing the same thing. Why change it? You know, like, why change so much to where nothing matters?
Nothing.
We can't all be a village if we all the same age.
I actually disagree with that statement. I don't think we've lasted this long by continuing to do the same thing over and over. I think we've lasted this long by continuing to adapt and evolve to the circumstances in like a beneficial way. I think some evidence for that is that you're talking about a very individualistic society. America is very individualistic, but a lot of Asian countries, they really embrace the it takes a village mindset. They really embrace family and
Latin countries too. Yeah. Exactly. African countries also. Absolutely.
Yeah. There are like lots of different circumstances all over the world. People adapt to their situation. I really just don't think that we've gotten this far by doing the same thing over and over again.
I think adaptation is two different ways, right? Yeah. Like, are we adapting to conform to our minds? Like, what we think every day, people overthink all the time, right? Our mind is our worst enemy. Sometimes it's our best friend. Sometimes it's our worst enemy. We overthink. We overcalculate. We pressure ourselves to be perfect. We think of all these ways that why isn't blah blah blah. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. No, like I understand, but there are some things that are printed in the human DNA that you just don't want to. You don't want to change that to adapt to something.
That's real.
You know,
and that's human nature. Right. You know what I mean? Because
human nature is not something.
Go ahead.
Human nature is something you don't want to change for adaptation.
Right.
Like we're here. We're people.
Absolutely.
I can talk to you.
Yeah, you can talk to me.
If what you're saying is adaptation purposes, I don't want to have my family and friends on my phone. Mm-hmm. That's not the way I want to adapt. I don't want to talk to people and not be around them.
Right.
Social media is ruining our lives.
Come on, that's what adaptation will be. Mm-hmm. If we're going by adaptation,
conformity.
Right, we're conforming to our phones. We're conforming to this society that isn't built for us. It's built for us to be separated. COVID should have showed us all.
It really exposed it.
COVID exposed what adaptation can be for us.
Yeah.
I don't want to adapt. I don't want to conform.
I'm going to piggyback off the social media. That just made me think of something. Do you feel like now there's this false sense of options everywhere since you're on your phone? Yeah, of course. So now you don't feel like you want to converse with your mate and get to the root of the problem because you're like,
I was just talking about that today.
That I can log on and there's this fine girl right here, but you're just looking at a fine woman, and it's an illusion because just because this person is there's 100 more people that's on her page, and she's looking at this person, and now you're thinking, I can just hop and do this, and now you're not really interested in getting to the root of the problem because now you want to just move on instead of conversing.
Well, that goes back to adaptation, right? Our attention spans have gotten lower than ever before because now we have everything's touch sensitive. Everything's like I can go on my phone and I can get food. I can go on my phone and I can get alcohol. I can go on my phone and get women. It's all in that trifecta. Like
it's a mindset thing.
It's not just a mindset. It's our actual lives.
If you let it control you.
It's not about control. It's about what's going on. You can see it.
Yeah.
Like I've talked to plenty of women on social media, and it's become something. Been like, hey, blah blah, let's meet up, and we end up meeting up, and okay, yeah, I like you. You're cool, and this, that, and the third. But then we get to this point where it's like, what is that? Now I'm never satisfied because this person that I just talked to, I just had them right here in my face, and now I'm looking at another person. I can have them in my face.
Perception, yeah.
Right, perception is reality.
And so you think about it because some people, you ask some people, when the last time somebody asked you for your actual phone number? Never. You see what I'm saying? So now it's about, let me see your IG, because some people minds are programmed to have this perception. As soon as they go to your page, they have this idea what they think you are. You know what I mean? And so I don't. It's
let it become reality.
It's like this. It's like this.
I can't let something be.
Go ahead.
Was it reality back then? Before social media, was it reality back then?
But we're not talking about. You're talking about something that can't happen. It's the past. I can't go back to the past where social media didn't exist.
Yeah, but social media exists now, and y'all letting it become reality because it's there.
We didn't let it become reality. It became reality when it came into place. Like, let's keep it real.
It's optional, though.
It's optional for some people, but realistically, if you run a business, anything that has to
right. Companies are actually looking at your digital footprint. If you run a business and you want to make money, you have to have a digital footprint. So it's not possible.
Not talking about business and
but even for people that run business, you don't think women are going to run past your page? You don't think you're going to be interested? Let's be real. We're humans. We still look at people in a way that you're a woman, I'm a man, or you're a man and I'm a man and I want you, or whatever the case is.
I have a certain perception.
And the perception is there. Perception is reality.
And expectation.
We live in this.
Yeah.
We can't go back to the past. Everybody, even for certain jobs, they want to look at your social media.
Talk about it.
Let's keep it real.
Talk about it.
We don't live in that time where you can't go back and be like, well, it's a choice. It's not a choice. If I want to have a job, it's not a choice. If I want to,
just like when the internet hit the scene with emails.
You don't work for a Fortune 500.
over time.
I'm gonna just say this. I'm a multi-platinum producer. I've worked with everybody. I've worked with Future, Drake, Gucci, blah 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 blah. All these people, but that involves my life is built around. I have to be seen. I have to be visible. I don't have a choice. I won't make the money that I make unless people see what I do. So I don't have a choice in the matter.
You got to have a digital footprint,
Exactly.
and depending on either how responsible you are, the lack thereof, that digital footprint now in 2024 is going to follow you for the rest of your life. We had Polaroid. We had 35 millimeter cameras. Somebody at somebody's house got those pictures still. You see what I'm saying? Now your social media account, you know what I mean? Those social media platforms own your stuff. You thinking you're deleting things, but if you get in trouble, God forbid, come on, man, they come to snatch all that stuff up, including your deleted profile. So, you know, it goes back to something that you said, you know what I mean? I think it was you about the social media. One of y'all talk about the social media.
Yeah.
I don't think social media is the problem, just like money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of it. I think social media exposed the lack of, not only that, but we didn't get attention in a healthy way from our parents. And it caused us, just like before, when the gang era was on the scene back in the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? We're all, at the end of the day, are looking for family. Social media is a type of family that people have created in their lives. And so we're at a place right now that, just like we say money changes people, money doesn't change people. Whoever you were when you were broke, money is just going to expose more of that. Same. This is just my theory. I can't prove this. I don't have scientific evidence, but I think social media just further exposes who those people really are.
And I want to come in with the science, but in all seriousness, only reason why I disagree with that is because there are studies that we're seeing showing that social media is actually like chemically altering
I can get
our
that.
brains.
Yeah.
And you know, and I guess the greatest example is the dopamine, like with the doom scrolling and all of that. A lot of people are having like hyperactivity disorders that are actually forming later because they're on all these apps and they've created these algorithms now where they know what your brain is like. And so they've kind of trapped you in a way where they're feeding off of the dopamine that you now need. Yeah. And, you know, there's obviously, there is some truth in a lot of what you said, especially about the money and all that. But I really think that social media, it has been causing a lot of the issues that we see today, especially in the radicalization of a lot of different sides and people.
You're right, 100%.
Yeah.
So that's just my take on it.
It's all good.
She's right though. I mean, physically and mentally, when you wake up, most people, what's the first thing you're grabbing?
Go to the social media. Yeah.
We grab our phones.
Trying to see what the group chat talking about.
Right. You're trying to see what's going on, and it's really our newspaper.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Today it is.
If you're thinking about how you look at it, I remember my uncles and everybody. They used to wake up early in the morning, go grab their newspaper off the stoop. Boom. That's how they're finding out everything. That's how they connect to the world.
Right.
And that's the difference between cavemen and people that were just in New Guinea and all that shit, and they don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And us that you can pick up that newspaper and be like, oh, we're in war.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Right.
That's the difference. Like,
absolutely.
We're just at this point where it's literally an appendage. Without your phone, you feel naked.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask everybody a question. Before social media, what was the most cordial way to get to know somebody?
I mean, you'll see them outside.
See them outside. That's one.
You go out.
The mall.
The mall. What else?
School.
Malls.
Right. Malls. Social clubs.
The town center.
Yeah.
Church.
Work. Church. Work.
The bar. The club. It don't matter. You just go out in public. You step out. You see someone. You approach them. You get the number. You page them or whatever whatever you do.
Paging.
Page
Yo,
them,
it
text
wasn't
them,
that
call
long
them.
ago.
You take them out.
Most
That's why
women
I said it's
but-
program optional
but-
for you to program yourself just to social media. It's optional.
But most women don't want to be talked to at the gas station.
It don't
Most
matter.
women,
He
right?
asked a question, what
hold on,
happened
hold
back
on.
then?
I'm just saying, most women don't want to be talked to at the gas station. Most women don't want to be talked to at the club. Most women don't. These were all gathering spots for us. It's like the watering hole, right? The park. It's different. It's different now because It's different now because people communicate differently nowadays. We don't feel comfortable with you. I don't feel comfortable with a woman just walking up on me and being like, "Hey, how you doing?"
It's not about what you do; it's how you do it.
Are you trying to serve me?
It's how you do it. If a guy approached me at a gas station and asked to offer pump my gas, or maybe okay, cool. I'll actually sit and have a conversation with you at the gas station.
Right, but
it's about how you do things. It don't matter what the
scenery is. Of course, that's one thing. But even if a man walks up and you're not attracted to him at all and he tries to pump your gas, you're gonna be like, okay, thanks, bye.
I mean,
appreciate that.
And some men they're not receptive to that. They get dangerous when you try to tell them, hey, I'm a little afraid, or they don't.
That's because right now we don't deal with being able to
handle rejection.
No, rejection is our worst enemy right now.
It just comes with it.
Right, rejection right now for men is like the top 10 worst enemies.
Also, we don't know how to communicate anymore. So the old ways where you used to be able to walk up to somebody and ask for their number,
That's
they
the
don't know how
point
to
that I
do
was
it anymore.
Because one of the ways that I didn't hear nobody say, it goes back to what we was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Men are designed to pursue women.
Yeah.
When we, like I said, the 90s era gave us a glimpse. A man, he approaches a woman, get a number, they see if they can connect to 5, they exchange contact information. Later on, he sets up a plan, he wants to take you out on a date over a meal. You think about, we all got dinner tables at our houses. We got kitchen tables at our house, right? A lot of times, like other cultures, they get to know each other over a meal. They talk to each other. You see what I'm saying? They flip their phones over and literally get to know the person that's next to them. We're losing the art of communication. You see what I'm saying? It goes back to the real situation. The attention span.
Yeah.
What's the longest attention span right now on IG? What? 190 minutes?
I mean,
190 minutes.
No, 190 seconds.
I mean, yeah, 90 seconds.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
190 minutes. That's a 2.5 hour movie, my boy. We
90 seconds.
Came over.
All right.
Yeah,
we good.
But
nah. It's really. So this is really what it is. It's really around 50 to 60 seconds.
50 to 60 seconds. Okay.
That's our attention spans.
Yeah.
And we're always looking for something that catches our attention more
just
than the
like
last.
that. That's it right there.
Bro, look,
That's it.
That's it right there.
Look, bro. We do content, man. It is 30 seconds.
30
Not
seconds.
even that. Like the first 10 seconds. Like you really gotta catch people's attention now because it's just so much options. It's so much in our face. We don't even know where to start, where to finish. We don't know what we like or what we don't like because anything that we think of is just in our face. We are in a content, and I know we do content, you know what I'm saying? But when you come across our content, we want you to think for real, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's where we are. That's where we are as a society. And so back to what you said earlier, like we're always ever evolving, and that's how we survive. That's true, but at the same time, we also survive with community. Hence why we're always, that's why we live in big cities and everything like that, because it's up to us to really pull each other out of the bullshit. Because nowadays, like you said, it seems like our brains are becoming jello, becoming mush. Just off of, I have all of these options. It kind of even tricks you to thinking that you have options that you don't have because
So you're not
the
saying,
information.
so what I was saying earlier. So this is not optional. Y'all saying this is just reality. We're programmed just to have social media, just to be on social media. Like
No.
They did it to us. Listen,
Yeah.
how long? Hold on. 15 years now.
Social program.
So since let's keep it real. So since MySpace, people started to get a little grip of social media, right? Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, so on and so forth. It's the way we communicate now. Mm-hmm. It's not just, it's in our dictionaries. Now you can look up and see that Instagram and all these things are it's part of our lives. It's just like the car. Back in the day, I could imagine talking about horses would be the same thing. Like, so you just telling me I'm not going to ride a horse no more. Yeah. You saying I got all these horses in the barn and it's not going to happen no more.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm telling you that at some point it's just going to be cars on the road.
Yep.
You're not going to see horses on the road no more, my boy.
Yeah.
And that's where we live at.
Yeah.
This is the horse and it's gone. The communication is the horse of me and you meeting in a library and being like, hey, how you doing? And I walk up to you, hey, how you doing, beautiful? I want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And a girl's like, what are you doing talking to me in the library? You should be quiet.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at. Social media, I can reach out to you on social media, and you can look at my profile and be like, okay, is he a weirdo?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see nothing crazy.
Right.
I don't see nothing crazy on there. It looks like he's got some mutuals. Mm-hmm. It looks like this, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And the guy's like, right, it looks like it.
Perception.
And then you have to, perception is reality. We live in this world today. And it sucks that we can't go meet each other out anymore and it be something regular. I can't just meet you in the club and be like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm with my friends.
Yeah,
I'm over here with my friends. I don't know what you're doing over here in my section, in my area with my friends, but, you know, I'm good. But most girls, you can't just walk by. Back in the day, I come from the old school, so like no. But
you had to get some context.
But I'm telling you, because I come from the time where I used to be able to talk to a girl in the club, and we could communicate. I could go behind a girl and she be dancing, and she look up and be like, "Okay, yeah, you cute." And boom, and we got a connection, and now we talking, and what's your name?
Disrespectfully
blah, blah. Right now you get behind the girl at the
You look.
What the fuck?
Hey, I did not know that we was gonna be those people like in the good old days.
It is though. It is. It's the good old days.
That was a time to be alive, though, bro. That was a time to be alive.
It's so much tape to actually recreate that whole experience. You know what I mean? Because I mean, you even in the city of Atlanta, man, you even had teen clubs that we can go to. You see what I'm
I
saying?
miss house parties.
That closed at 12 and 1
house
o'clock.
Parties,
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you had Sharon Showcase, you had MBK on Southwest Side. You know what I mean? It's just you had the gate. I mean, it's just so much from the 90s to the early 2000s, and it's like it just began to start fading out.
Yeah, this was our teen parties. We were going in at the teen parties.
Yeah.
But it was fights at the end of the teen parties. A lot of trash cans have been thrown.
But that's where we're at, and it sucks. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
We have to look at each other and be realistic about where we're at today. It's not the same.
It's not.
We're not at the point where I can go meet you anywhere and you're gonna feel the same way about me.
Yeah, times have changed.
If you meet me in a certain place, if I walk up to you on the gas station, you might think I'm a bum. You might think, oh, who's this homeless nigga walking up on me? Or whatever. Hey, can I pump your gas for you? No, I'm good. Thank you.
Or a dude now come up behind you in the club, grab you by the waist. You're like, oh, who are you?
Exactly. Like, back up.
Thing,
like we're just, it's not the same.
But back in the day, they used to do that. That was normal.
Right. It was a normal thing. And it was the watering hole. It was where you could go and you could meet somebody and then you could get to know them. A lot of people now be like, don't meet your husband in the club. My parents met in the club. Wow. They still together.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they was split up for 20 years, but they got back together afterwards.
Yeah.
After I grew up.
There's a lot of families today have been raised. They just don't admit it. There's a lot of modern families today that they met in the club.
In the club.
In the
My
club.
parents met at the club.
Yeah.
Thank
See,
you.
But see that goes
Club,
back.
bar.
High school
I
sweetheart.
put club and bar at the same time.
You can meet
lounges.
at the club and it's okay.
Pool palace.
It doesn't mean you met some niggas is
Frozen
or
palace.
some men are jerks and some women are lame.
Atrium.
Like we live in this society where you're not gonna meet the best person all the time, but it doesn't mean after you meet one person at the wrong spot that it's forever ruined. Every person is the same person from, I met my ex-boyfriend at the club and he was an asshole, so I never want to meet. That's not how life works.
Yeah.
I want to know now because the clubs used to be, that was the whole purpose of the club. So ladies, like, what do y'all go to the club for now?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I want to ask, like, I'm gonna ask you, and I want to ask all the ladies. Do y'all go to the club? Yeah, none of y'all don't go to the club.
I'll go
I
to a
actually,
lounge.
Bars, the
yeah,
lounge?
I outgrew clubs. I like to go to
say
like
lounge.
lounges.
The lounge,
Bars.
the lounge, going out, getting
Yeah.
hookahs at
Yeah.
in the sections.
I mean, I go to have fun with my friends. I don't go to
Yeah,
get
so-
grabbed by people that I don't know.
So is that why do you go to the
I'm at a
club?
point now where I
I
like to
don't-
do like little girls' night at my house. Like I don't even like to go outside no more.
Okay, so
It gets old.
I
Like
Yeah.
girls' nights, like cabin trips. I like to do stuff like that.
But even
Yes.
if I today, piggybacking what he's saying, even if I do, which is rare, meet someone in a club. Oh my gosh, just to say that sounds.
why do you go to the club?
It's very rare. If
Do
I
you-
go, it's gonna be a birthday party for
Okay.
someone. I'm in a section, and it's really rare.
So you just going to the club just for somebody to celebrate with somebody?
Yeah, I'm more than likely like to go to like a nice upscale lounge or
Okay.
cocktail
So a
hour,
lounge. Do you go there often?
networking type.
So
of
why do you go there?
Conventions or
Why do you go to the cocktail lounges?
because especially you want to always have something to unwind after a work week or a stressful day. So you want to get
So
nice, girly, cute, put on a nice dress, get a nice cutesy drink. Just kind of keep the vibe.
All right, look, the club and the lounges and all of that, the cigar bar, all of those is the same to me.
Kinda,
I put
no.
that all in the same. If it's
No,
low,
it's
They're
not.
not-
It's
if it's
definitely
low
not.
light and music up.
A lot of cigar bars is turning to the club now.
Yeah,
I
if
know
the
two
lo-
in
if the
particular.
lights is
That's
low.
just Atlanta.
and
Y'all
the
turn every
music is up,
restaurant into a
God
club.
Damn, man, can we just go
I have to pay $40 just to park just to go eat.
I'm like,
Like
man,
this is crazy.
Yo, all of Atlanta is the club. You
Right.
coming to Atlanta, you coming to the
Right.
club.
I
So
just
why are
was
you here at the
surprised.
club? What is your
But what I was
purpose?
saying, what he was saying, even if I do meet someone in the club, I still want to see your social media so I can see who you are as a person. I feel like gauging what type of posts you post, what you're interacting with, it gives me an idea of who you are. So I'll still feel more comfortable communicating with you after I see it.
Me personally, I would like to get to know them just for them because you could portray anything you want to be on Instagram. It's like I meet you, let me see your Instagram. That's not the person you met right in front of you. So I gotta get to know
Aha.
you first.
But that's your footprint. What you follow, what you post, and what you interact with is who you are. That's the world that we live in now. So it is still. I'm still gonna take into account, what I'm interacting with, meeting you, but I still want to see it.
Because okay, let's just say if you meet him, he might just came out of work. He might don't have on Timberland boots. He's probably a construction worker, but you don't know that that's his build. Like that's his company that he works for. So you talking to him, he looks like a bum. Oh, he's a building constructor, but you look on his Instagram, it shows he's the owner of this, and then now you're interested because you see what you see, and versus actually getting to know him, and having a conversation.
But it
with him.
wouldn't get that far if I wasn't interested in you in the first place. I wouldn't get on your social media. I'd just be like,
Exactly, but,
But how
if
do
you,
I-
if you
how
was to
would I
find his
meet you,
social
though?
media first,
huh?
Well, how would I meet you there? So
No, he was saying that people, why do you go to the club? I'm like, in this day and age, even if we meet someone in person, we still want to see their social media
I
to
got
get an
that.
idea of who they are.
I got that.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
you don't go to the club to beat somebody.
Yeah, I don't. I go to
All
I
have
go just to
fun.
vibe out. But
Yeah.
I mean, you could meet someone. It's not like you're against it.
No,
But it's
yeah,
rare
because
these
you're a
days.
beautiful woman.
But
Of
is
course,
it-
you're going.
but-
Someone's going to approach you, but we don't initially just go. Oh, I'm finna find me a man.
Yeah,
tonight.
that's not what we
Oh,
do.
yeah, so
no one
that's
does
okay.
that.
So why would you go to the club?
You said what?
Why would you go to the club?
Why do I go to the club?
Yeah.
To have fun. I mean, like sometimes you might just want to have a girls' night out, or it might be an event, or no one just goes to.
What's fun?
Wait. Before you, before,
Okay,
bo-
okay,
And
okay.
I want to
Bo-
twerk
before-
with my
bo-
girls. I
before-
might not have seen them in a long time.
before you say that,
All right.
where do you go to meet a man then?
There's multiple places to go meet a man, and not just
Please,
the club.
I just want to know.
I could go outside and go to my mailbox and I see a man. Like it doesn't matter what scenery we're in.
So you're saying
Go to
anywhere?
the gym. Oh, I see a man. Like
So you're a low part of the percentage of women that meet a man anywhere. Like women aren't willing to meet a man anywhere. Not in this day and age.
I don't prefer to meet a man at a club, but if it happens, it happens. I'm not against it.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're saying you can meet a man anywhere, but where would you go? If you're saying you want to find a husband, where
You
can
on
I
that
find?
mode.
Where can I find a husband? Where can
You
I
on
find a
that,
man?
I need a husband
Where
mode.
can I find a
Where you
man?
going?
That's
Okay,
why
the
you go to
best
networking
place
events and
is
you
at
go
a
to
coffee
conventions,
place.
a conference.
Coffee, like if you go to like a coffee shop, that is like, and it also depends on the coffee place you're going to, because you can get some hipster coffee places, you can get like a regular Starbucks, but
Right.
the best place I think to go meet somebody is a coffee place, because people go there to usually work. You know, like you can kind of get an idea of what they're there for, and then if you find each other attractive, usually a coffee place is somewhere where like they might say, "Can I join you?" Or
Have you had that happen? Has a man asked you, "Can he join
yeah,
you?"
all the time.
Has it worked?
Yes,
Okay.
it has.
All right.
I can confidently say it has worked.
Y'all hear that, fellas?
Yeah.
Hey guys,
So
go
to add on that-
go to Starbucks tomorrow
I really
with your
feel like
laptop.
it's your preference of man. If you like men, I like me personally, I will probably go to a gym if I want to meet a man. It really just depends on a preference of what you like.
That's why I always say go.
Hold on,
go-
no,
go-
the
go-
gym. So you'll go to the gym?
I will go straight to the basketball court.
Are you gonna holler at them? You gonna have, because the gym, you gonna have to be the one that's like, look, because
I feel like it's a mutual
We've been
holler there.
we've been loud and clear to not get at y'all at the gym. When y'all work out, it's been drilled into our heads to don't even look your way when you at the gym.
But you can
working
come and stand in front of those
Don't
dudes.
even-
Spread eagle. I'm like, man, come
Don't
on. Are you
even
serious
do it.
right now?
Don't even do it.
I mean, I
So that
can't
means if
speak
you
for
talk-
all women.
So that means, so you
You
saying
will probably
ladies,
have a time
ladies.
and day to go. You'll probably go early in the morning or late at night when no one's around, or you probably go to your apartment complex. But I'm saying it really, if you want to go out and meet a man, it depends on the type of man that you are attracted to. So you will go to that place. If girls are attracted to guys that like clubs and like the pop bottles and throw money, you'll go to the club. If you're attracted to men who like to be in shape, you'll go to a gym. If you like guys who like intellectual, you go to the library. It just depends on
Who
your
the fuck
preference.
hanks out at the library?
So
Libraries are
Shit.
great.
You'd be surprised.
saying.
No, that's right, shit. You know what I
Every
mean? I
time
get down, I read.
Look, bro,
Or
every
you
time-
want a godly fearing man, you go to church. Like it just depends on your preference of man.
sister,
Or the grocery store.
Yeah,
I think the gym is a
Anywhere.
really like obvious example where you, like you were saying, you have it drilled into your heads not to approach a woman at the gym, because that's a place where like men and women put themselves in like physically vulnerable positions. But I do think that like in life in general, you can approach, it's more about how you approach people than where you approach people, or if you
nuance,
approach them at
which
all.
I was talking about
nuance,
earlier. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So like if you see someone that you're interested in at the gym, don't go interrupt their set or stare at their butt while they're doing
Be
squats.
creepy and shit,
like-
rubbing on the corner of the pole.
If you're
But
respectful.
it looks so good though.
Oh my god.
It look all nice and round.
But if you're
I can't.
But I'm
it
just,
look
but it's
good.
typical though.
if you're
It's
respectful and you wait until after the workout and you find something that you have in common, or you ask for like a tip on an exercise, that feels
Spark a
fine. And if they
conversation.
shut it
That's how
down,
you do
then
it.
respect their boundary and like don't.
Yeah,
keep
asking for the
pushing.
tip on an exercise.
Does that work?
That would be actually perfect, because you don't want to go up there and correct her, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be.
I mean, unless they're like actually being super
Let me help you with your
unsafe.
form. Your form
right.
just a little
That would make me
off,
so
baby.
mad. Like
Can
I would be
I
like,
mind?
even if you're hot, no way in hell I'm gonna ever like talk to you after that.
Let
right?
me help you
Like,
with your squat
Yeah.
form.
So I think that's the part that men are at this fearful state where they're afraid to talk to women in the wrong way, because they'll never get the chance they want to actually talk to you. It just takes one time for a person to make that first impression, and then a person's like, "Yeah, no, don't, no, thank you."
It just takes practice.
I mean,
Gotta put your best in.
but that's the part that men are dealing with, is that they're not willing to practice. Once they get that first
rejection,
and
it feels some kind of way.
Right, they hurt over that rejection. It changes their perspective on a relationship, on how they can talk to women, on
because some
how,
of them
Yeah.
be rejecting dudes embarrassingly hard. Like,
Oh yeah, that is, some of it is ridiculous. You don't
Like-
have to talk to them like that. Just say
Demean.
no, thank you.
or you don't have
You
to
know,
just.
I have a boyfriend.
completely-
I'm good.
You don't have to completely ignore like that
Females say
person
that,
don't
and y'all
even
still take
exist
that
in
to
this
heart.
planet.
Or-
So
or-
it's like,
or-
what can we say?
I think everything is about how you do it. I feel like if you're a confident male, you know there's a 50-50 chance a woman is going to say yes or no. You have to be okay with her saying yes or no and just walking away with your dignity still. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. And I feel like women have to be respectful in how you can say no. I know personally, I'll just say, oh, I have a boyfriend. I'm dating someone seriously, and I don't have to be like,
Right.
oh, no, that's mean.
Right.
You shouldn't want to date a woman like, oh, red flag. I'm glad she did this.
Right.
She has a stank attitude. I don't want this anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most women I know will give their number out even if they don't want to,
It's a safety
because
mechanism.
because
Yeah,
it's
that's a
because
safety
it's for
reason. Yeah.
it's fear's sake.
I've
Yeah.
done that.
They're like, okay, you know what? I don't know what this man's gonna do to me if I say no to him. Let me just give him my number and block him
I've had guys
when I get in the
like,
car.
follow me around after I wouldn't give my number, curse me out, threaten me,
Yeah,
You don't
throw
like
stuff
that?
at me. No.
Dang.
It's scary. So
So-
sometimes we do that for our own personal
right,
safety.
right.
I don't know if y'all remember this, but there used to be a number that women could memorize.
rejection
The
hotline.
rejection hotline.
Oh, back in the day.
Yes,
See?
yes, and
Yeah, I
that was
remember that.
such
Call
a
that in front of
yes.
you. You cannot use
See,
that.
now-
Yeah.
It is still. I'm pretty sure it's still working,
Please,
but it
someone
used to
call
be
That's
just
funny.
amazing.
Hey, we gonna get that number. We gonna put that
We
bitch
gonna
in the-
post
we
it.
gonna post that.
But men
We
got
gonna put
smarter
that in
about
the-
it. Some men got smarter about it, and they actually will call the number in front of
Can't do
you
that.
Yeah.
to confirm. And so that's why it doesn't really work. But back in the day, that was the way to do it.
This is the issue that we deal with right now, is that we don't know how to actually have that conversation with each other.
Okay, let's
We
go
don't.
play.
Right.
We're outside.
Okay.
We're at a lounge.
Oh.
Hey, all right. So, all right.
I'm not good.
Hey, beautiful. Do you need another drink?
Sure, I'll take another drink.
Okay. Boom. I go and get you the drink.
Are you not gonna ask her what she's drinking?
Nah. It looks like she just had water in the first place. So I'm gonna just get.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a social cue here for most men. Y'all correct me if you all don't agree, but a social cue for you all to know. If you come up to me and ask me, do I want another drink? You can tell from my nonverbal body language if I'm interested or not. So if I'm interested in you, I'm gonna allow you to buy me the drink first of all.
Of course.
If I'm not interested, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm okay. Thank you though. That's a cue. She's not interested. So,
Right.
Okay, continue on. I was interested. I took
All
the
right.
drink.
All right. Boom. She took the drink. So we're talking.
Yeah.
Hey.
The gang.
Yeah. So anyway, where do you live?
Oh, whoa!
Gotta go.
You can't ask that now.
Get your drink back.
Damn,
guys.
she said, "Whoa."
You see that?
No. See, I see why you probably.
Where do you live?
No.
I can't ask where you
That's
live.
the
Nah,
first
you-
thing you're gonna ask a
you
woman
gotta
at
ask.
a club. Where do you live? After you gave her a drink too, it's giving Jeffrey Dahmer. Like,
Damn.
I gave you this drink. Now, where do you live?
Wrong answer.
Where do you say?
Where you from? Maybe.
Where's your car at?
What's
What's your license plate?
your social?
Let me
A
see your
better
show.
banquet.
Yo.
Better
No.
conversation
But let me
starter
keep it
would be-
real. Let me keep it real.
Okay.
All right.
You gotta be like, where you from?
No. I got right.
Where you from?
So what brought you here tonight?
Ooh, there you go.
Okay, well, I had a long work week, and I just wanted to come here, get a few drinks for my girls, and unwind a bit. How about you?
Okay, yeah, same thing. Long week, ready to relax, meet people, make new friends.
Okay, am I a new friend?
I hope so.
All right, we're friends now.
Nice to meet you. Boom.
Nice
we
to
shake
meet
hands.
you.
Right. Pleasure to meet you.
This is
So what do you do?
Me, I'm actually a traveling registered nurse. What about you?
Okay. I own a studio and I'm a music producer.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I like
you know,
that. Okay.
that's how I do.
All right.
Boom.
I love this, but what's y'all names? Exactly. Like,
Okay.
We
We were assuming we had the names
realistically we would
already.
have got the names already. So let's keep it real. We
This
would
is- this is real.
First thing I would have
This is
said was
real, okay?
first.
Hey, but you
First
know
thing I
what?
would have said
Yeah,
is, "What's your name?"
But you know what? To be honest with you, like even if I asked your name and you told me your name, I'm gonna forget it.
Social
Yeah,
media,
social-
right?
you
I
know,
would have pulled out that phone.
wow.
That-
Social
I mean,
media
crazy.
now. Social
Nah,
media
no,
is
that's
first.
but it's the truth.
No,
Your
I'm
name,
saying
your
in
real
the,
name might even be on social media.
no, I'm
so
saying
what do
in
you
the
mean?
midst of the conversation.
Yeah.
In the
So
midst of
you'll
the conversation.
forget her name, but you'll forget probably.
Nah, because I want to know
Remember everything else.
No, because I want to know.
Let's keep it real. The music is loud.
The music is
we're
loud.
We're trying to. You might have said, "My name's Rebecca," and I heard Beck.
Beck.
Okay, Beck. Nice to meet
Where
you.
am where you from? I'm from Minnesota.
Kentucky. That's what's up.
Wyoming.
This is why we don't.
What's back you down here?
This is why we don't prefer the club.
But that's why people get to know each other outside the club.
Right.
You have to you still have to give that chance inside, and something can come of it because we're all interactive people. We have to get to know each other by
By
communication.
nature. Yeah, absolutely.
I also wanted to add about when y'all were doing your skit that even though, let's say that you say that he can buy you a drink, that's not kind of like a free passage to, let's say that she automatically is gonna, want to get to know you or talk to you or even take you home that night.
Of course
I
not.
think men sometimes get pretty offended when they get a girl a drink. Yeah, and then they're kind of expecting that there's some expectation to it. But it's part of the game, right? Because maybe at first glance, I am like, you know what? I will take another drink. You look decent. And then we get to talking and you ask
like, "No,
where I
thanks."
live, and I'm like, actually, but men have to be
So
prepared.
where do you stay at?
Right. So men have to be prepared for the rejection even after they buy the drink.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But I think that sometimes men get very offended by the fact that they are spending money on a woman and they get mad that since they have spent the money, they shouldn't be rejected maybe.
I don't think real men don't think like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Real men can take rejection in stride and be like, "I'll use that same line that I used on you with the next girl." I'm
like
about to
putting
go.
reps in.
Okay, you know
It's
what?
like
Let me go
reps.
try this girl. She gonna take it.
With
Hey, how
fishing.
you doing? Yeah, you beautiful, baby. You got a body
Fishing.
like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Whatever. I think now we live at this point again where we're afraid for rejection
No, you're
and
really not.
communication.
Let me tell you something. I went through my brother DMs, and when I tell you he copy and paste the same thing to every female
That-
on his goddamn
That's
phone.
But that's
not the
di-
same.
that's not
It
that's
don't
not the
matter.
same.
That one say no, this one might say
it's not
yes.
the same.
No, look.
That's
No,
not the
because
s-
we're basing things on
no,
reality right now.
What we're talking about
Done,
is
done,
when
done.
we meet a person in person.
Done. Let me get this one.
Go ahead, go for it.
How you doing? What your brother do again?
So he's shooting his shot at a female. What?
No, shoot a shot where?
DMs.
DMs.
Or even if it's
On-
real life. I'm pretty sure you
No,
the same
what
line.
has
okay,
he done?
DMs.
Because this is where
Copy and paste.
We talking
to
about
every
your
female
experience.
that he sees attractive, and he sends it to every female he sees, whether
Okay.
they don't reply, whether they do, whether it's a no, I'm good, or okay, cool. Like y'all don't care about rejection.
No, that is the internet. That is different. When we mean rejection,
Reality,
we mean
you just said it.
no.
If
When we
she's-
mean
if she says no.
listen. We mean rejection. We mean that's in person. That's personable. I could sending a whole bunch of messages and not get no replies, or that's not a rejection. That's something simple. That's lazy. That's where we're at now as a society. That's what we're saying, that we don't have any water in the holes, but because we so damn lazy and so scared of rejection, we don't actually want this. We don't want that to be told in my face, because in face it's brutal. When they
Okay,
say
so you
no,
rather
no, that's not the same when we mean rejection. That's just him just spreading the odds. That's nothing. You don't lose no sleep at night to that, because if he hit, that's part of prospecting, baby.
Okay, so in reality, when you at a club and you say the same line to this female, she says no, and you might find another female that walks in and she
They
says
not
yes.
finna. The dudes ain't finna do that in the club.
You're crazy.
I'm telling you, like
This dude that I turned down, he's talking to the next female right there. That's
yeah,
that happens.
Some of them do.
Happens.
Yeah, that's a very confident individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't see most of the dudes. Most
And when
of
you
the,
at a club, what do you do? Drink.
Listen.
So you're not
what
so-
you mostly see in the club is you see everybody isolated in their own section doing this with bottles and just standing there looking tough, and they be on fumbling through their phones. That's the reality what you see in the club. You might see the outlier of the guy that's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm finna shoot my shot to every girl in here. That's the ultimate confident dude. That dude don't give a fuck about rejection. But that's not the majority. That's not the majority. So you able to point out one dude for you to be like, it sounds very specific to a very specific situation. That's why you able to point it out. But if all men did it, you couldn't even pinpoint how many times you done seen dudes jumping in.
Have men heard of rejection therapy? Like, have any of y'all in the room heard of that before?
Well, okay, have women heard of rejection therapy? Because
I didn't realize that we needed therapy for rejection.
So there is a therapy that that some people will do, and it's called rejection therapy.
Okay.
And you go out in a group of people, and you're supposed to do really weird stuff that's going to make people look at you crazy. So that over time, you start to think less about what people care, and you can do things that make you scared. And honestly, it sounds like the majority of men could benefit from rejection therapy. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Does it give you guys any peace of mind when you're trying to talk to someone in real life and they reject you? Do you think, okay, I guess we weren't compatible? Or are you so focused on the pain of being rejected by someone that you're interested in?
What I think is we have so many things to get rejected for nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I think instead, back in the day, we could talk to somebody and the rejection could be, okay, I wasn't dressed properly today. I just got off of work. I'm wearing my work uniform. That's what it is. Boom. I can pinpoint why she rejected me. But now because I can't pinpoint and I could think it's 100 different reasons, I don't know what the actual reason is. That becomes the issue for most men.
Because attraction for men and women is a totally completely different criteria. You know what I mean? Your shoes as a man can be off. I ain't fucking with that. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I mean, it can be a breath thing. It can be a posture thing. It's just a various things that you can lose attraction initially for a person. And so, you know, and same goes for us. You know, it's like we are expected not to have standards. We do. Men have standards.
Really?
You know. So,
wow.
but
So
get rejected enough times, them standards do go down.
See, that's my point where I was getting to. Rejection for men is designed to build strength. We're designed for those hardships. You see what I'm saying? Because it's designed to teach us and train us on how to build those skills. But a lot of times, if we're just gonna, you know what I mean, be allowed to sit in the corner and cry about you rejecting me, then we're not developing those reps that's necessary to do it again.
Okay, y'all
So-
asked us, what is y'all reason of going to the club? What's your intention?
I don't go
about
to
going
the
wait,
club.
can I say
Oh,
one
now
thing?
you don't go to the club.
Can I say one thing on this subject still? So if you talk to a girl in your work clothes and she said, no, like you look like a bum in your work clothes, like, and you're like, okay, that's why I was rejected. Would you have wanted to date her in the first place if she's the type of person that would look at your work clothes and say, oh no, I'm writing this person off immediately?
All right, so let's talk about what's going on today, right? You guys seen the pop the balloon shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? We've all seen it.
Yes, we've seen that.
We've all seen it, but a lot of women are followers, and it's sad. You know, men are followers, women are followers. But when a woman sees another woman that she respects or she was friends with pop a balloon on somebody that she might have talked to, she might be like, you know what? Yeah, I see what you're talking about, girl. It stems from like this connection that we have that we don't have. It's weird. Right. We don't have the connection and we do have the connection. We can see somebody that we're obviously attracted to. We would be attracted to, and if we were by ourselves, but if we were with our friends, we would be like, nah, yeah, you right, bro. My boy could be like, yeah, man, you see her feet? You see the back of her heel hanging off her shoe?
Oh my God.
Or whatever. Right, and
But y'all look at that.
yeah, of course we do. Of course, but that's what I'm saying. It may not be us. It may be our homeboy next to us, and we respect him. And he gets all the bad bitch. Oh, he get every bad girl. Yeah, bro, I wouldn't talk to her with her feet hanging over the hill like that. And right. You don't see that? Right. You don't see her gripping the front of her shoe like that?
Why you gotta pull the blanket out after?
Right. You don't see that?
That's why you have to be confident within yourself. That's when the level of maturity, when you can't care what someone else thinks.
Exactly. But right now we all go with squad goals.
No,
A lot of
goals, couples goals.
We're talking about the majority.
Okay.
We're not just talking about the outliners and the people that don't fit into the conformist society that we live in, but we are conformists, obviously.
You're saying the people, your friends who you surround yourself with, who you hang out with, they basically mold who you would date and talk to.
I mean, that happens from the time you're a young child to the time you grow up.
And see, this is
when girls have a poster of the same boy on their locker, and they all like, yeah, I love Omarion, girl. Yeah, but one girl might be like, he 5'5". I like guys that are 6'2" or 6'5". But yeah, he cute, girl. I do see what you're talking. We live in that society. I'm sorry, we do.
When do you grow up from that? When do you excel and advance and know? Hey,
I'm not saying I'm an outliner. Okay. I go by what I like. At the end of the day, I'm attracted to what I'm attracted to. I don't really have a type. If I'm attracted to the person, I'm attracted to him. But most people that I know, I'm around friends that like they see a girl and we're all attracted to. Oh yeah, she beautiful, bro. What are you talking about? And one guy's like, yeah, bro. But you see her lips.
Yeah.
You see something about the side of her lip, the way when she smile, and you
would listen to that and not.
I wouldn't listen to it. Me personally, if I'm attracted to her, I'm attracted to her.
Right.
But some people conform in society, and that's what we live in. If you watch Pop the Balloon, it's not. Most girls don't pop that balloon when the guy first comes out. It pops when another girl pops that balloon. You got to watch the show. Watch it.
You don't hear it pop, pop, pop.
Right. You don't hear
he pop. Oh, because I didn't like what you said to the other girl. So
right.
That's why I pops. Like,
oh yeah, the way you said this, or the way you looked at her, or you were more attracted to me and you didn't pay attention to the other girls, or blah blah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like he supposed to have the rejection good. Like, I don't like how your lips is hang. He's like, okay, well, I respect that, but my lips is the way I work. Pop, I don't like how you responded to her tearing you down.
Right.
That's how fucked
like
up
we live
is.
We live in this fucked up world right now where we don't see eye to eye and we're against each other. Men and women. This is the first time. I'm not. It's not the first time in history. Men and women have always been opposites, right? But it's the first time that we're not together. We're pushed apart by this weird society that we live in.
I think because everything is in our faces, like you said, we're on social media all day. We can just get on live or get on our social medias and broadcast something that we don't agree with. We're not really talking to each other. He, hit on earlier, people having traumas that they've had since they were children that they've never went to a therapist and gotten healed.
Never.
And now we're all just trying to communicate with each other. We have all these unhealed traumas and things that we should have worked on really before you started trying to get into a relationship with someone anyway. And now it's just a mosh pit of going back and forth with each other instead of trying to understand each other. So you have to understand yourself first and fix yourself first.
Of course.
Before you try to.
But that's that thin line between love and hate. Like we really should love each other, but for some reason right now we're meant to hate each other. Most women, like you see these things. If you're a man, you get the algorithm of you see these videos where women are like, I don't need no man. 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 And then you see most men where it's like, yeah, I need a woman. I need a woman. I need a woman.
We need men. Okay.
Yeah,
I think.
And y'all need us.
Okay, we need each other.
It boils down to courage. We got to step outside of this. No. This it's one size fit all. We talk about it all the time. Narrative. You know what I mean? It's like what works for you and yours and your idea and your principles and values wouldn't work for somebody else, you know what I mean, on the other side of town. It's like if you meet somebody and you're vibing with them, genuinely want to get to know that person. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we've been conditionally, societally and conditionally programmed to think about the physical first and the provision first. What can you do for me? It's a transaction. And it's like, so when it comes to anything, like if we see a red flag about each other, immediately the cutoff game strong. You see, I'm not dealing with that. I done been through too much in my life to want to deal with that. But you may be that person, not being a savior, but the reality is you may be that life preserver, a seed that can be sown, that can help transition that person's way of thinking into a better way of thinking when you're no longer around. And so it's like we got to get comfortable. I believe we got to get more comfortable with just learning just to be around each other as people, as opposed to trying to seek something to get from each other.
Because it's like, if I dealt with this person, dealt with this person, how many persons going to take for me to actually be like, okay, when am I going to sit down and actually try to accept your flaws and accept this and that?
I think it's really easy right now, like how you're saying we need to like communicate and come together, and you were saying like everything's so divisive right now. I think that's another side effect of social media. The world is so connected right now. We've never been this connected with the rise of technology, globalization, and what we see on social media is the extremes. We don't see the middle ground. That's not what blows up. We see the people who are like, oh my gosh, all men do this one thing and I hate it. And all the people in the comments agreeing or disagreeing. And then we see the video on the other side that's like, oh my gosh, I love when a woman does this. And all the people agree. Like, we see the extremes, and it's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking of real life as these extremes. Yeah. And I hope that's not really the case. I think there's much more of a middle ground in real life. I think there are a lot more like people in the middle. But it definitely is so easy to fall into that trap when that's all you're seeing.
I agree. But when we live in this place where people are raised by social media, it's just like kids who were raised by TV back in the day. Like I was one of those kids where like my mom had to go to work, and so I had to figure out what to do with my time. And I spent time with my friends, and then I went home and watched TV. And I learned a lot about life from watching TV, which like it shouldn't be, but that's where we live at. Today, kids are doing the same thing that they did with TV with their phones. And they're looking through these things and learning about things they shouldn't be learning yet. When it comes to relationships and shit like that, boy, you don't even have no hair on your balls. Let's play with Power Rangers or do this or do that. But you're sitting there 20 years ahead of yourself, 30 years ahead of yourself, which sucks.
Mine was hopscotch and having to beat the house light before you get home, stuff like that.
Right.
Like,
That's all right. Now we at the time of the episode where I want to know you ladies' games. Really, I want to know everybody's game. What's your game? Well, I'm gonna start with you. I want to know just what I mean. What's your game is what advice you could give the people that's watching, that's tuning in, just about how to navigate life from your perspective. So, what is your game?
That's a tricky question, because I think it's such an individualized one. I don't want to be so presumptuous as to believe that I can give the viewers advice that will work for their lives just because it works for mine, because I think everyone's different. So I guess that would be my advice. Figure out what makes you tick and go from there.
There's your game.
Yeah.
Figure out what makes you tick and go there. All right.
What's mine?
What's your game?
Mine's is be open-minded and learn the difference between wants and needs. So that's mine.
All right. That's a good one. What is your game?
What's your game? What advice do you have to give to that works for you, but it could be used?
But is it like a life lesson in relationships?
It could be in anything.
Just in general? Okay.
In general.
Man, I would say like confidence and communication. And I think we talk so much about the importance of communication today, but without communication as like a human race, like we've got nothing.
Exactly.
So communicate, really have those difficult conversations, and like you were saying, be open to hearing and listening what the other person is saying, and what you kind of talked about a little bit too.
All right.
I will say self-mastery and discipline. Those will get you far in life. You learn, like she said, what makes you tick. Learning to kind of take those 3 to 10 seconds to kind of think about what you're saying or doing, especially relationship-wise, before you do it, will get you far.
Yeah, yeah.
Dope.
Those are good ones.
Dope. What's your game, RP?
Conflict resolution skills. That's what I hear. I think personally, just based upon experience and being around people, self-awareness and getting more comfortable with spending time with self. I think one of our biggest fears is getting to know the person that's in the mirror. And a lot of times we don't want to sit with ourselves, by ourselves long enough. The fears and the things that make us feel good about ourselves enough, whereas we can go through that process of healing strength as men, you know what I mean, and whereby we're not carrying those traumas from our childhood, from our young adult experiences, high school, things like that, into our relationships. Because you got to think about it. These people sitting across from you didn't have anything to do with what you went through. They can say something that has nothing to do with what you've been through, but because you are triggered by what you went through, you will make them responsible for that. And so those chains have to be broken in order to get to that next stage of connection and appreciation for each other.
Right.
Because I think we're in a time right now, man, it's really time to really appreciate the tribe of the people that you're connecting with. Otherwise, we're just going to continue this cycle. So, at the end of the day, for communication, this is my thing. The most skilled manipulator is a poor communicator. Learn to work on your communication skills.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right. My advice is learn how to be a leader and get away from the followers. My issue is that we live in a society of followers. Everybody wants to follow the lead, and there's a few of us leading each other to hell in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? We're the blind leading the blind every day, of people that don't know what they're talking about, don't know what they're doing, don't know how to be in a happy relationship, leading you into not being a happy person. A depressed person telling another depressed person how to live, and those are our biggest issues right now, that we're following the blind. So stop trauma bonding with your friends.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's a big thing. Stop trauma bonding with your friends. Stop building yourself off of pain. Stop using your pain to become a different person. You have to learn how to let pain go and grow from it instead of growing from it, because then it becomes your personality, and then you're just this painful, bitter person, and we live in that time where bitter is a cool thing. You see a woman being bitter and in pain, and you're like, yeah, girl, I feel you. Cheaters, liars, this, that, and the thing.
So what's your advice to help people get over their trauma?
Well, the first thing is that you have to have open communication. If you hold it in forever, right, then it's just for you. Now your trauma is just yours, that you share with your friends, instead of being able to get it out and it's over with. So I think we all need to seek therapy in our lives in one way or another, whether it be you talking to a medical professional that knows how to handle you and maybe prescribe you with something that could, bring down some of those issues that you have, because that's where we live today, that we don't know how to get over our pain because we're going to our friends that don't know what to do with our pain because they're in pain. So let's stop being in pain together and learn how to heal. And once we learn how to heal, then we can all come together, and you can learn from those people that have healed from those things. So that's my game.
Hey,
That's dope. All right. You know what my game is? I'm gonna. I'm sitting here. I'm with these comments right now, man. So there's somebody that Captain Zork. He said something dope, and I was like, I gotta make this part of the game.
Speak up a little bit, brother.
I said Captain Zork. He said something. I was like, it gotta be something. It's part of the game. I'm gonna read what he said. He says there's a give and take in a relationship, regardless if it's man or woman. It's a woman's job. The point is being a partner is to support someone who is important to you. And I was like, reading that, I read that over and over when he put that on there. Shout out to Captain Zork. That's some pure game there, because that's the whole point of what we're talking about here. Is support, active communication. We do need each other. We're different, but we have to understand there's nuance to it. But we have to have a blueprint, and it has to be okay to have that. It's okay to start with a blueprint, because if you don't have a blueprint, if you don't have a roadmap, then how in the hell are you supposed to know where you're going? You don't. Sometimes you do got to look in the past to see, all right, with your experience, what the experience was, take it with you on the road, so that way you don't crash or crash out, as people say, But I really appreciate that game. I want to get into these comments more, but we got to wrap this up. I want to really thank everybody here. I want to thank everybody that's tuning in. Ladies, I really appreciate y'all being here and joining us with this conversation. Very refreshing. I think we got a lot out of it.
hey. That's what's up?
On that end,
Peace.
you have tuned into the Pure Game podcast.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
We are.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Knows what's up.
Trey.
Be